Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I thought I would do a spring essentials video. Now as I'm filming this, it's grey as like hell outside, it's horrible. It's been tipping with rain all week and it is due to rain again today, so I'm trying to get this in quite quickly before the rain starts. So, you know, it's typical British springtime, and I just thought that I would run through some of my essentials for this time of year. With it being spring, obviously I'm in the UK, so it might be slightly different than if you're somewhere else, but these are the things that I kind of rely on during springtime, and yeah, they're all kind of makeup and skincare bits, so let's get started. Most of these things are probably going to be self-explanatory for a lot of you, but I just thought I'd kind of run through because I do find myself going into seasons thinking, what should I be using or wearing or anything, just because, like, I don't know, for bits of inspiration, so I just thought I'd go through it. So I will start off with skincare items. There's kind of a few. So the first thing, please mind the massive sticker on the top of this, I got it from an outlet and I can't get it off, is a body scrub. I love body scrubs. I think they're perfect for, you know, buffing off all the kind of dry skin, leaving you with really soft, smooth skin. And I do really like the Body Shop ones. This is what this one is. This one in particular is the Cocoa Butter Cream Body Scrub, but I basically just use anything that I can get my hands on. I tend to use like a loofah, is that what it's called? The shower puff things. I use those during winter to kind of keep my skin nice and healthy, but I do find that at this time of year you're wanting, I don't know, you're wanting to look a little bit healthier and shinier, so I do really like these. They're just perfect. So yeah, I have to use a body scrub at this time of year, especially going into like summertime as well. Obviously it's key to moisturise your skin throughout the year, no matter what season it is, and this kind of time of year isn't any different. I do try and moisturise my skin every time I come out of the shower. Doesn't always work, but if I do it at least once a week, I am happy with myself. I know that I've kind of done it, like, my job with that, and I'm looking after my skin. So I just love kind of moisturisers in general. The one I'm using at the minute is the Sanctuary Spa Luscious Body Butter. Now this might be too thick for some people, but I really like it, especially in spring because it's not boiling yet, it's not too warm. Especially in England, we've been having some cold nights again recently, so I find it's really nice to kind of pop this all over and then put my pyjamas on and just like let it sink in overnight. So yeah, I don't mind using thicker creams, but I know that some people would, but this is just what I'm using at the minute. Another thing that I really enjoy using, especially when it comes to this time of year and summer in terms of moisturising, is a body oil. Now I hadn't considered a body oil until last year when I got a new job, and it was just something that we sold where I work, and the one that I have and that I use is the Decleor Aroma Nutrition Satin Softening Dry Oil. So this, as you can see, it's just an oil. It's in like a squirty bottle thing. I'd never considered using an oil before. I didn't know whether it was beneficial for my skin, whether I'd like the feeling of it, but I really do. It's really nice. It dries really quickly, so it's perfect to use like in a morning if you've had a shower then. And yeah, it's just really good for this time of year because it's so light. So this is the one I'm using at the minute, but there's loads of them around, really good. Now, I am not someone for fake tanning. I am quite olive skinned anyway. It doesn't show very much in camera. I do appear a lot paler in camera for some reason, but I do have a little touch of colour in my skin, and I don't feel the need to fake tan every time I come out of the shower. I know that some people do and some people enjoy doing it. I hate it. If I have to have a tan, I tend to get a spray tan, and that's just how I like it. I don't like to do it myself, really. Saying that, one thing that I have used for years is a tinted moisturiser. Now this is a little bit like fake tanning, but not. So it's just a regular moisturiser, but it has that little touch of colour in, and it does build up every time that you use it. So the one I use and the one that I've been using for years, I don't think I've ever tried a different one because I just love this one so much. It's the Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Natural Bronze Body Lotion. So it's just a simple tinted moisturiser, it's in a pump, and I only apply this to my legs. I'm a little bit weird, I don't know why. My legs are a completely different colour to the rest of my body. So especially this time of year when I'm getting my legs out a little bit more, it doesn't bother me too much in like autumn and winter. But spring, summer, I'm getting my legs out a little bit more and they just don't look like they belong to me. So I do like to use this on my legs. So I'll use one of my other moisturisers all over my body and then just pop this on my legs. So Tinted Moisturizer is an absolute must for me at this time of year because I want to look like I'm a whole person. Lastly, in terms of moisturising, is a foot cream. I am a believer that feet need to be looked after all year round, but especially this time of year when you're about to start wearing sandals and like slingback shoes, all that kind of thing, you want to make sure your feet are nice and soft and they don't look cracked or anything like that. So the one I'm using at the minute is the Avon Planet Spa Blissfully Nourishing Cream. This is actually for hand, elbows and feet, but I just use it on my feet. This smells amazing. It's got quite a wintry scent, but I absolutely love it. And I just pop this on a night when I've had a shower under my socks. So I like pop this on and then pop socks on so that it can like soak in. It's throwing out the colour. And yeah, I do just think having a foot cream all year round is important, but especially this time of year when you're going to be getting your feet out a little bit more. On to face products. Now, this time of year, I like to lighten everything up a little bit more. So I like to wear slightly lighter foundations, add a little bit more bronzer and bright lips, all that kind of thing. So before I can do any of that, one thing that I have to apply is SPF. Now, I wear SPF all year round. I even wear it in winter, which you should do, but some people don't think that you should, all that kind of thing. But I do wear this all year round. But if like I forget a day here and there, I'm not too bothered. If it comes to spring and summer and I don't have this on, I get really annoyed at myself because I know that I need the protection. So the facial SPF that I use is the Decleor Aroma Sun Expert, and this is SPF 30. I love this because my skin can be really temperamental and it doesn't break out with this. It doesn't get sore, it doesn't get inflamed. It runs perfectly. It's really good coverage. So like I take the tiniest little bit, pop it all over my face and it lasts me for ages. I started using this on holiday last year and I've used it every day since. And I've already stocked up. I have another one ready for when this runs out. I do just really like this and I think SPF is so important. If you're relying on just the SPF that is in your foundation or your powder or whatever, don't. You need to put something underneath. Even when I wear foundations that have high SPFs in, anything like that, I make sure that I have this underneath. So I just pop this on top of my moisturiser and I'm ready to go for the day. As I say, I live in England, so the sun is not super bright. We don't have many like hot days where I'm out sunbathing or anything, but having that protection is so important, so I do make sure that I wear that every day. Then when it comes to my face, as I said, I like to use a slightly lighter kind of foundation. I either use a Bare Minerals foundation, so a mineral foundation, or I tend to go for liquid. One thing that I've discovered in the last couple of months is a BB cream. Now the one I'm using is a Decleor BB cream, but I think any of them are pretty good as long as they don't make your skin break out, so it's just about personal preference. It's a much lighter like coverage, you can build it up. It's more of a moisturiser than a foundation, so it's just a little bit nicer on your skin. And yeah, I will be cracking this out a lot more come kind of later spring into summer, but I have been enjoying using this on the odd day. But I have to say I am sticking with foundation at the minute, but this will be getting pulled out a lot more. So I also like to add a little bit more bronzer at this time of year. It just kind of adds a little bit more to your face, makes you look quite glowy and healthy, and it does just add a little bit more colour. I don't have too many bronzers. It's one thing that I don't have a lot of. Bronzers and blushes are the two things that I need to start buying more of and trying different brands and things. But the one that I absolutely love, which I have mentioned before and it is discontinued, it's a Virgin V bronzer, so it's in this little gold packet. If you rummage through your mum's makeup drawers or something, you might find this. This is where I found this one. And it's just such a lovely colour. This one doesn't have any shimmer to it. It's a lovely matte colour, it's buildable, it blends really well. And I do just think that this is such a saviour at this time of year when you haven't yet been on holiday and picked up that little bit of colour just to add a little bit more to your face. And I do just mean, I wear bronzers all year round, but this, you know, it's getting cracked out a little bit more this time of year. Now, as you can probably see from today's look, I have a brighter lip on, and that's because as soon as it starts to get to this time of year, I feel a little bit more confident in cracking out the brighter lips. So what I'm wearing today, and what I have been wearing a little bit more and will be cracking out a little bit more throughout the year, is one of the Avon matte lipsticks. This is in Mauve Matters, but as you can see, it's not mauve at all. it is pink. It's a lovely pink colour. This is one of their matte lipsticks. I did write a blog post about these last year, so I'll leave the link for that below. But it's just such a lovely kind of colour. It's a lovely bright colour and it's matte, so it lasts a little bit longer during the day. So I do like the brighter colours this time of year, so that Avon one is a really good one for me. Another one is this MAC one, which is in the shade So Good For You. So I have worn this in a past video and it's just this, like, it looks a bit red on camera but it's pink. It's a really bright pink colour when I pop it on. And yeah, I just like cracking out the brighter lips. I feel a little bit more confident with it than in winter. And yeah, I just think it kind of uplifts everything. When you've got such a horrible dreary day like we've got in England today, it just makes it seem a little bit more summery and brighter. I do also find at this time of year I like to wear glosses a little bit more. I'm not too much of a gloss person. I tend to avoid them quite a lot, especially during winter. But once it gets to this time of year, I feel like I want a little bit of a shimmer on my lips and a little bit of a sheen. So my two favourite kind of lip glosses at the moment, these two. So this one is the Tanya Burr Cosmetics in Lunch Date, which is a gorgeous nudie colour. When you pop it on, it doesn't really have much of a colour to it, but it has a lovely, lovely sheen and it smells like watermelon, so it's an absolute win. And then the other one is the Bare Minerals Marvellous Moxie in Maverick. I really like this. It looks a little bit darker, but obviously with a gloss, when you pop it on, it loses quite a lot of its pigmentation, but it's lovely. This one has a little bit of shimmer in it, and I don't know, it just adds a little bit more depth to my look and the day, and I don't know, it just makes me feel like it's coming into spring and summer and it lightens everything up, and I just really like it. Lastly is scents. Now, it's no secret that my favourite scent is one of the Jo Malone scents. It's the Peony and Blush Suede. I have mentioned it a couple of times and it's like my signature scent at the minute. I love that scent, but because it's got quite a deep undertone, I find it quite wintry, and if I wear it this time of year I still love it, but I don't feel quite as summery and bright and all that kind of stuff. So I do like to add a few different scents in at this time of year that just smell a little bit more floral and are just a little bit brighter and lighter to wear as well. The kind of scents that when you smell them you instantly think of spring and summer. So the first one, which I have mentioned before, is the Library of Fragrance Peach scent. Now, I cannot find this anywhere online. I actually got this discounted in Boots, so I don't know if they're actually doing it anymore. But I really like this. I use this as a perfume and also as a room spray, just because I think peach is a lovely summery smell and it just kind of lifts everything up. So I do think having a scent like this where you can use it both in your room and on yourself, just kind of make everything a bit springy, is lovely. And then the other one is the Marc Jacobs Daisy Dream perfume. So it's in this gorgeous bottle. I really like Marc Jacobs perfumes. I think they're really nice. This like scent payoff is really good. And this is just one of the nicest spring scents that he has. It's just such a lovely light scent. It's really floral. And yeah, I do think that wearing something like this at this time of year, it does just lift you up a little bit and make you seem a little bit more spring and summery, and I know, puts a little bit of a kick in your step. Is that the saying? Well, that kind of thing anyway. So I do think that having a scent that is a little bit lighter is really good, because if you wear the same scent all year round, I think your senses just kind of get stuck with that. So I think it's good to kind of play around a little bit and introduce a few new scents. So those are my spring essentials, kind of going into late spring, going through to summer. Obviously we're in May now, and yeah, I've just really enjoyed adding some more of these things into my daily routine and just enjoying wearing like a little bit more bronzer, the brighter lipsticks, lighter perfumes, all that kind of thing. I do feel like it gets me set up for this time of year. I like to prepare for each season and like treat each season differently, so I do think it's just really good to kind of get these bits in. That is everything for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back next week with another video. Make sure to subscribe and like the video just down below, and all my links are down there as well for social media. And I will see you next week with another video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye. How do people do this and not make their hands look weird? Like, that looks like a claw. Look at that. Oh, people, we need to have like a lesson in this because I don't understand.